And we are conducting an on-time departure here at the Bowling League. Today it's going to be a solo mission, and so very easy for the on-time departure when there's almost nothing to coordinate. We are going to join this mission here, and while it's loading, let's start with a prayer. O Holy Mother, Father God, may your peace and your love descend upon all who hear this. May their hearts and their minds be open to you, open to receiving you, open to being an instrument of you, and open to all of the love and the grace and the goodness that you wish to give them. Bless everyone's families, their homes, their hearts, their minds, their occupations, and their wallets. Help them to find resources easily and be brought into a greater feeling of trust and love every time they think of you. In your name this is done. In the name of the Creator, the Mediators, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right, everybody. Peter's out doing some camping this week, which is awesome. And it has been 21 days since our last session. And so sorry for the break, everyone. We are going to try to make it up to you with some hyper consistency over the next couple of weeks. Pardon me for the coughs here.
We have located the rebel base on Yavin.
Let me just make sure this is broadcasting properly. Okay. I think it is going to be good. Yeah, so what's been happening? Well, I went to Switzerland, and it was absolutely amazing. Switzerland is like, the entire country is like the Boy Scouts. They just, when you're hanging out with Boy Scouts, let me turn this down a little bit so I can hear myself. When you're hanging out with Boy Scouts, they love the environment. One of the things that you promise to do as a Boy Scout is to always leave any place that you're hanging out in. Leave it better than you found it. So if you pull up on a campsite, you're going to leave it with less trash than you found, than was there when you got, or with, a better, just a better alignment with the environment. This is how I felt about all of Switzerland. They were a people who just loved their the natural environment they were in, and it's pretty easy to see why they love it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really, really beautiful. Not only physically beautiful, but because it's at such an altitude, and because so much of it's in the Swiss Alps, there was kind of a purity to the natural environment. Like I was I was in this glacial lake at this little place called Interlaken. I was in Switzerland for work, and this was all taking place in my kind of transit time to and from the hackathon that I was at, which was super fun. We can talk about that a little bit too. But this lake that we were on was just the bluest glacier water you've ever seen. In the same way as when you're flying into the Bahamas or something, and those last couple of miles, when the water gets more shallow and the white sand on the bottom of the ocean is shining up. Oh my God, it is the most beautiful, just magnificent water, because you can see it. You more or less can. It's so clear you can perceive the whole volume of water, and it has a this unique, insanely healthy color. Well, you combine that, my friends, with some next level, beautiful Swiss mountains that were very prominent. The mountains that we have in Colorado in the Rocky Mountain chain, at least down where I live, just about where Denver is. These Rocky Mountains are awesome, and honestly, in general, more beautiful. But they are also smoother, and there was something cool about the jaggedness of those Swiss peaks, those Swiss Alps. It was unbelievable. It reminded me. Many of the mountains there reminded me of mountains that I had seen in India. In India, when I was traveling around a little bit, there were mountains that were considered to be alive and considered to be teachers of people. And it's like, how could that possibly be? How could a mountain teach anybody anything? And the way that works is that the mountain, through whatever mechanism, and we can talk about some cool mechanisms, it promotes the elevation of Kundalini. So the natural elevation of energy in the spine, Kundalini is the serpent force, means it's it's a reality at the base of the spine that can be raised up in the spine, and sometimes this happens spontaneously, like naturally. Sometimes people will have like a spontaneous spiritual experience, a spiritual opening, and their kundalini will rise. The kundalini rising unexpectedly can look probably a lot like madness, because when you have a source of energy, like electricity, inside your spine like that, and you're like lighting up the spine from the inside, it's almost as if the stuff. Okay, so your universe is perception. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on around you, and your brain is responsible for assembling all that into a cohesive picture. And what does your brain run on? Your brain runs on electricity and sugars. Sugars from your food and from your environment sometimes, and electricity mostly generated by the heart. The heart creates pulses of electricity every time it beats, and the brain runs like receives that electrical current from inside of it. And in any event, so what happens when you turn on that Kundalini life force in there is that it raises the energy, and it's almost as if reality itself can start coming from inside. It's not always as easy to tell the difference between reality that other people would see and reality that just you are seeing. When I traveled back from India, I had this very profound Kundalini kind of overdrive experience for about 7 months after I got home. It took a while for it to calm down, and it was a really beautiful state, except for the fact that I had to like interact with the world and like teach classes and interact with people, and I'd be like on a walk or something, and I'd have this excellent elevated feeling for most of the felt pretty good, I would suppose. Felt awesome, let's be honest. And then I would I'd see like a flower or something, or call it like a little plant, and in front of my eyes this plant would grow up like flower, open, and like go through its whole life cycle in front of my eyes. And it was such a convincing, powerful, true kind of feeling that I would have turned to someone next to me and be like, "Oh my God, that was beautiful. Did you see that?" It's only when your rational mind steps in and goes, "Hey, it's not actually possible for a plant to grow like that," that you kind of take a second look at it and you're like, "Oh my goodness, this was like a." Hallucination's not the right word, although I guess if someone else couldn't see it, maybe that's the proper term. But nothing about it feels like a mirage. Nothing about it feels like anything fake whatsoever. It feels like exactly the same way that reality's put together. So anyway, for about 7 months after I got back from India, I was having little come-down experiences like that, because when I went to those beautiful Indian temples, and they love them some God there, and they accept everybody. They accept Muslims, they accept Christians, they accept anybody of any faith can go into, I would say certainly all the Hindu temples I experienced. And it's really cool, Hindu temples. They're kind of like, they say, I mean, when you ask them, how is this temple doing what it's doing? There, in the ancient Vedas, there were certain shapes, sacred geometrical shapes and architectures that were thought to capture and promote the natural life force that exists in nature. I call it like a force that's flowing through everything. And by these specific shapes, where should we capture here? I guess I'm going to capture B because it seems less awful. Okay, so through these specific shapes, there is kind of a natural harnessing of the energy of the environment. Okay, and so to these natural shapes, you add a lot of stuff. You add living humans that tend the temple, and just having living humans in a temple is going to create like a special event. Like all the people that come to that temple are going to know, oh, there's like people here. Almost like the way a theater would feel. When you're experiencing live theater, it's part of the magic is that those are people on the stage pretending. Like part of the thing that you're being drawn up in is the invitation to imagine that that person is actually King Lear or whatever. And so anyway, in the same way, when you have a temple full of priests, there's just going to be a lot of good coming out of that anyway. But then you add to that, they bring flowers and they bring milk and honey, and it's almost as if the physics of the life force of the stuff, um, it's somehow transmuted, and it's way more than you put in. So if you put in like 10 units of life force energy, you're gonna get like 100 units of life force energy out of it. And the whole thing is just a bunch of little the whole thing is a bunch of little not like kind of like life hacks like that in Hinduism. Not that they're fake or anything like that, but just that they're using a principle of energy gathering and focusing of nature that is kind of unknown to science, but clearly happens so regularly that it's got to be based on some rock solid like scientific like reality. So in any event, beautiful temples raising the life force energy, called Kundalini the serpent energy because it coils like a snake, not because it's bad or it's something that should be avoided. However, the whole thing with Kundalini is every time I've ever studied it or made any sort of formal inquiries into it, it's it's always the one where they recommend that you have a good teacher, that you just take it really easy. You really relax when you think about the energy in your spine, and I think the opportunity to open it prematurely is so powerful that it is very difficult to sort of deal with the after effects and the aftermath if it's not kind of in a structure. And this is why it's cool to be a monk. This is why it's cool to make your job like to spend multiple hours a day focusing on meditation and God and prayer. And this is the Hindus draw a distinction between monks, which are the people who can do that, the people who can spend 8 hours a day meditating and praying, and the householders. And what they say in Hinduism, in the Vedas, is that the person who, the householder, is given the same amount of God in 15 minutes of meditating as the meditator is given in 8 hours of meditating. So while the meditator makes it their, or the monk, I should say, makes it their full-time job to be with God, like as their occupation, more or less, the householder, it can experience the benefits of these kinds of prayer and meditation because of the grace of God. And it's like, oh, that's not very scientific. And here's the science you got to think about. When you are going to sit down and pray for 8 hours, there's a chance to dawdle. There's a chance to be like, well, I'm here for 8 hours. Maybe, you might not focus like a ninja, if you know what I mean. And so anyway, when you're the householder and you got to focus for 15 minutes, it's not that you're so much better at meditating. But what it is that you've only got 15 minutes. And these are your 15 minutes to really be with God. And because of that open heart and because that prayer is strong, it can happen. It's a maybe potentially a more receptive state, or a maybe the way to say it is it's a state that's more in need. There's a greater just like natural gravity to the desire to be with God, which meditation's being with God, prayer is speaking with God. That's Paramahansa Yogananda and the Self-Realization Fellowship out of San Diego, California. Those sweet monks there who are praying and meditating and saying prayers for the world and trying to make all the good vibrations that they can, thinking about that sweet, sweet Om vibration that is God in all things. It's a really cool group of humans. Anywho, flying solo. Sean, if you're out there in the wild, you're welcome to join, my friend. So far, so good on this one. I'm in here with a fairly decent crew. We've got 2.5 minutes, and we've got a little less than half of this command post to claim. It was really nice how slowly we rolled up on this thing. We kind of took our time and didn't rush in too quickly. I think that's a lesson we want to replicate right here, because they have reestablished themselves pretty well. These guns work fantastic at a distance. There's no reason not to use that distance advantage. We've got Yoda's superpowers extend all the way out here into the yard, so might as well. Someone's rocking the. There we go, down with the Yoda. Now let's clean out the rest of these nerd buckets. Right here at the 1 minute 30 narc. We really have one push left. We have to push them off one good time. Alright, I think we can advance. We got some people off to the left. They're going to flank us. We're going to move in and get these guys taken care of. Come on, don't die, don't die. Okay, so drop them as you see them. Drop them as you see them. Oh man, this is where I miss Peter. Peter would be right behind me at this moment. All good in the hood though. Camping. Camping is super fun. Can't beat the camping. Although it's early, dude. I've got snow on the ground right now up here in the mountains in Colorado. I got a snowstorm in front of my house. Although I want it to be spring yesterday. Vernal equinox this week. Hope everybody had a good one.
This is quite surprising considering Joe has no Riz.
All right, taking a short break and we'll be right back. Here we go. Sean, if you're out there, I'll let you join. Pulling the handbrake on hyperspace, dropping out of the higher dimensions into this dimension. Dude, Switzerland was absolutely next level. The natural environment was so pristine, and it was clearly having a positive effect on the people, infecting them with awesomeness. The frischen Luft, the clear air, the altitude, the mountains themselves. But yeah, living mountains in India, where sort of either through the physics of the mountain or through the prayers that have been imbued into the mountain, through the morphogenic resonance field, as Rupert Sheldrake would say. Rupert Sheldrake would say that shape persists in nature, and shape can be energetic. And so if someone's praying in an area strongly, that vibration stays there. And it can actually stay there stronger if the form and the intention of the place supports it. So this is why if you've got a temple or a church that's very loved up, and you go into one of those things, you can feel the warmth and the prayer of the community. Vice versa, if it's a fairly lifeless situation, you can feel that too. But anywho, many of the mountains that I saw there reminded me of mountains that I had felt and experienced as highly loved. And I even saw this one mountain that was thought of as like an awake mountain. Like a mountain that had so much life force in it naturally that it had sort of developed a momentum and it had its own personality and stuff. I know that's a stretch for the Western mind. I wouldn't have ever thought of that if I hadn't seen it for myself. But yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool that you can sort of zhuzh up anything in this reality, from objects to animals to just I guess people. Not people as a different category, but yeah, it's almost like anything can carry the vibration of the creator. And so, an object or a thing that gets loved with the vibration of the creator is going to carry the vibration of the creator. And why would that be a bad thing? To have a little extra Omi awesomeness kind of be present and resonating in a given space. There is definitely a spiritual dimension to travel. I think it has to do with pilgrimage, kind of the thinking behind pilgrimage and how pilgrimage works. Pilgrimage is when you would leave your home and you would travel with the intention of receiving a blessing from a holy site or from a holy person, I guess in some cases, if you were in the East, but I was thinking more like Western Christian pilgrim sites. A lot of pilgrimage sites would be like churches. Churches would sometimes try to have relics of saints in them, so as to attract pilgrims, because pilgrims would buy tchotchkes in the foyer, and they would need meals, and they would need bedding, and they would need the ability to put up those spiritual guests as they were traveling. So, I mean, dude, I've got some spiritual tchotchkes in me. I don't think I have a spiritual bed and breakfast in me, but I certainly have a gift shop and a spiritual bed and breakfast in me. And my gift shop would have, you know what, it's a little sharp on the sound here. I feel like I'm talking over it a little bit. Let me just, yeah, there we go. Turn it down a little bit. Okay, so in my spiritual gift shop, I would have, there's people on A. Are there people on A? I would have little stones, little smooth stones that had been collected from the area. And the smooth stones would be something you could probably just take one. You could just have a smooth stone. In the sense that you would carry the stone with you. And one thing I thought on this trip was, it's kind of cool to take one thing from your trip, whether it's something you buy in the airport or something you get or something that's made or whatever, but to have kind of one thing with you and have kind of like I guess it would be like a travel tchotchkes box or something, where you keep one little object with you. And I think it'd be kind of fun at the end of your life when you're dying or you're in bed or, you've got the final disease that you're going to get on your way out, whatever it is, you're getting ready to go. And assuming it's not like a super fast process, you could reflect on your life via spiritual pilgrimage tchotchkes. You would meaningful experiences of other places, like a pilgrimage, and those would be all present, and it's almost like a way of bringing the energy and the psychological benefit of all that travel. Because I'll tell you, when I'm traveling, I think it's pretty common, but I feel like another person because so much of what I think of as myself are just simply the patterns and the repetition in space of my meditation or my prayers or my hanging out with my family or my wife, my kitties. So much of that. I mean, it's surprising to me when I travel because I go, oh, so all of that stuff is just the energy and the oh, they got A over there. Okay, we were a little too aggressive. It's the energy of stress. It's like the loops. Been doing a deep dive with some friends into heart math. We had this thing called the Order of the Tau, and it's a little heart math, it's a little getting things done, and it's a little scrum. It's a nice triple stack. It's a beautiful thing. But what we really did is roll the clock down on that thing. Anyway, the heart math is all about studying the hormonal biochemical loop that exists inside the body, where there's a memory and a neuronal, like a neuron system that is based in the heart. And the way that this thing works is that you whenever you have an experience, it gets written to the tape. And what gets written to the tape? It's the hormones. It's mostly the pattern of hormones and the pattern of biochemistry. So if you're stressed out, it's not that let's say you get stressed out over a dog. It's not that a dog is written to the tape. It's more like the energy and the pattern of your there you go. Luke Skywalker taking a grenade to the face. That's something I'm digging. It's like it's the whole biochemical. There's 1,400 different chemical cascades in the body, which represent the hormonal chains. Like when you hear a loud noise, your body immediately produces adrenaline and you pop. But then your hormones keep doing stuff for the next 6 hours based on that one surprise. So the how's the right way to say it? The headspace that you're in means a lot. It's very, very, very important. How you feel, how fast you're breathing, how fast just everything is going down for you, and what it's feeling like when it's going down for you. Your heart is recording this loop, and it is going to play back that loop. And so the next time you get into a similar situation, and there's a lot of stuff that kind of controls that, but the next time you get into a similar situation like that, you're gonna it's gonna start playing the loop. And dude, my loop was pretty fine-tuned for my home, and when I traveled, it was remarkable to me the how so much of my stress or work kind of related stress and stuff because I work from home is just like in the environment. And changing the environment and just kind of changing up my pattern, I had a really good time. I was very relaxed, felt super free, super peaceful, super just at peace. It was an extremely nice reset of the hormonal loop. I just tried to stay in that peace as much as possible, even though I was there for work and I was getting a lot of things done. I tried to get enough sleep, tried to not introduce any weird food stress by eating something crazy, and yeah, it was great. Fucking great. I got so peaceful on the edge of this Swiss glacial lake that it was just like, what's the right way to say it? It was like a walking stillness. It's like I was in an unperturbed lake, and the lake was so deep. It had like just the piece itself had a stillness to it. I was like, oh my goodness gracious. If I could somehow bring a little of this with me, or have access to this more often, that would be lovely. So just by thinking about it, kind of comes back a little. But also it's a reminder to pray and clear out all of the space and the energy around me. Like when I do have feelings, and it does get, or strong energetic feelings, I guess you could say, and it does get impressed into the environment or even into the timeline that I'm in. Maybe the time is a part of the loop, like a malleable, like a when you use a typewriter, and a typewriter has a ribbon and it has a bunch of ink on it, and then the little arms of the typewriter, what the arms of the typewriter do is they imprint the ink back onto the page. It's kind of like that. Maybe, oh, they're in OT. No, get them off, get them off, get them off. It's kind of like that. Maybe time itself is like an imprinted kind of thing, and it's not a linear thing. We're just such cool beings with our hormonal systems, because it's such an internal rate of time. Being in another time zone, being off my normal time, it just gets your time gets controlled by, it's really obvious how much we're influenced by, okay, if they're on B, okay. It's really obvious how much we're influenced by our chemistry, and just like all of those internal circadian rhythms and states. And okay, we gotta stop. Okay, we almost got him. We almost had him. Let's go, guys. Let's go. All right, here we go. The one true rhino. I'm with you. I wonder if that's a Republican in name only kind of situation. All right. Why are they in overtime? Why do they... Hey, Sean, what's up? Dude, perfect timing. Perfect timing, Sean. Jump in. We are... I'm gonna pull you into the group here, and I'm gonna... Here you go. Invitation coming your way, buddy. I'm looking forward to it. It's a bonus experience point weekend, which means it's really easy to get the heroes. We're seeing heroes everywhere. Hey, I'm doing pretty good. He says, how are you? How are you? Doing fantastic. Such a good week, Sean. It's been awesome. I was out of the country. I was actually over in your neck of the woods. I was over in Switzerland over the last week for some business stuff, and it's pretty awesome. I flew from the States, from Chicago over there to their capital city, Zurich. Got a chance to chill out and go around via train to a lot of neat places and see a lot of cool stuff. Okay, cool. Here, you got it. Here comes the invitation. Invitation on its way. Okay, cool. I wonder if you can hear that. There's an insane amount of... Okay, you know what? I also have to fix this other sound-related thing. Okay, I'm going to make that louder. Okay, I think that's a pretty good loudness for that kind of thing.
What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? Okay, here you go, Sean. I can send you another... I can send you another invitation here in a second. Oh my goodness. Anyway, yes, Switzerland, and that was really fun to hang out and do. Yeah. I was just talking about a whole bunch of different stuff here. But yeah, the living energy of a place. It's important to keep it clear. It's important to keep it clean. It's important to keep it rocking. What we're going to do, here you go, Sean. Here's another invitation. We're going to take a quick cut to break, and we'll be right back, everybody.
This is quite surprising, considering Joe has no Riz.
And we are in, and we are live, and we are rolling. The Mines of Kessel. Sean, this is a great one. There is, we like to press and hold the first level as long as possible, run down the clock on them. You have to watch for the steal on B on that one. Giant Bomb H8HCG, welcome. Welcome to the situation. Looks like Bingo the Panda is Semi-Rabid Raccoon is on it. Oh look, I'm a 300 level officer. I'm 3 years old. 300 years old. It's like Yoda teenage years. Yeah, so Switzerland was beautiful. You know, like the care of their environment was so amazing, and the engineering that they had applied there was just unbelievable. I got on a train in Zurich and I went all the way to this place called Interlaken, which was a long way. It took about an hour and 30 minutes to do it. And there was not a single bump on the train the whole way. It was like riding on a cushion of air because the rail was so well gauged, and the car that we were in had such great suspension. And I mean, it was an absolutely amazing experience. And I've been around a lot of U.S. public transportation. I lived in San Francisco for a while. That was the most reasonable public transportation situation that I had been a part of. I've done public transportation in a lot of big cities like New York and stuff, and it's cool. I mean, it's just such old stuff. Like, for example, New York. New York is it's 100 years old. Some of that rail and some of those subway systems. And you know, that whole thing was built in a time when those were the first subways anywhere. Those were like subway number 2 and subway number 3 that had ever been built, and people were mesmerized by their subway, and you know, it was a miracle of the world, and that was more than 100 years ago. When I lived in San Francisco as a in my 20s, the BART system in San Francisco was really good. I hear that the tube in London's really good, although I've never experienced that myself. But I hear that it's very well organized. Dude, the rail and the bus system was so tightly integrated in Switzerland that, I mean, it was just pure digital. Like, digital readout of the bus, on the bus, every stop, exactly where it is. Probably all uses GPS or something, and it's all programmed because, I mean, there was nothing to check. You knew exactly where you were going, where you were getting off, how long you were going to be on, and to the minute. It was just absolutely precise. I've done a lot of public transportation in like Kansas City. I did their bus system quite a bit. They got kind of a lightweight rail system. The cool thing about San Francisco's public transportation system is it was integrated, so you could get on a bus, take a trolley, and take a train, and it was all one thing. The BART is the Bay Area Rapid Transport. That thing was like from the future when it was introduced. Oh man, that's not a good place to stand. I gotta find a better place to fall back to there. Looks like someone was. Okay, Sean, I'm with you. Yeah, the BART, I think it was created in the 90s, and it was oh, they got it. Created in the 90s, and hadn't really been updated a lot. I got to write it. I got to write it in 2019, and it was remarkable how similar it was to when I was there in the 90s. It's kind of crazy actually how it hadn't really evolved much. So yeah, America could invest in its public transportation system and could really make it a thing of beauty. One of the things that you have going for you all throughout Europe, but especially in Switzerland, is it's not very big. There's just not a lot of land to cross. So your price per mile to move someone around can be, you can invest a lot in that, and it's a nice easy thing to do. Where in America it's kind of all spread out and crazy. Hey, nice, we got some bangers here in the front. Let's go, guys, keep banging. Okay, someone's on B. I think Sean, you got that? Saw that? It's nice. Okay. This would be an example of when to hang back, find some good cover, just thin them out. There's no rush. There's no reason to... They have to come to us. Let them do it. They can dive really good from these distances. This is where we might see a challenge on B, Sean. Because we're kind of holding them really good at A, so they might reconsider their strategy here. But we're dropping them fast over here. Fucking Wookie. Whoa, Wookie up front, Wookie up front. Nice, Sean. Way to hold Chewbacca there. That's a good 1-2 combo. We got an Ewok over here who's getting ready to die. Porgarki. I swear it's a Japanese server, man. We're on some kind of Japanese time zone. That sounds so Japanese to my ear. Be cool. Be super cool if we had some Japanese folks on the server with us. All right. Anyway, so amazing, just the cleanliness of Switzerland. They are down with every single public toilet being clean. And you know whose job it is to clean the toilet? It's yours. As the toilet user, it is your job to make sure that when you leave the toilet, there's a little brush next to every public toilet. So if you have left any trace behind, so to speak, you're supposed to make that right and do good by that. So what's crazy cool about it? Look at this little fucking Yoda. Dude, we know how to kill a hero around here. That guy thought he couldn't get shot from the front, but if he gets concussed with a grenade, he can get shot, and also if he's changing modes, he can get shot. So he was unfamiliar with those terms. Anyway, if you kind of think about that, where it's a different sense of civic responsibility from the people. And I think that's absolutely amazing. I think there was such a sense of citizenship by so many people, which I guess results in kind of a pride. It's a pride in your country, but it's also a sense of engagement. The engagement of people was so crazy. It was just everybody was in. It was like if you were in a classroom and everybody knew what they were doing, how they were contributing to the project, where the resources were. They didn't have to ask any questions. They knew how it all worked. Kind of like the way that someone is in their house. These Swiss felt like they were in their house. And it was like everybody, this is like, hey, this is my house. So we don't leave a public toilet janked. We fix it before we go. It's like, yeah, of course. That makes total sense to me. Like, treat it kindly and with love. And, as if it's worthy of respect, this environment that is cradling all of us. Also, here's the place you want to be a mall cop, Switzerland. The mall cops get ARs. They would operate in twos, I noticed was the pattern, and there would be two of them. One of them would be carrying something that looks like an armalade assault, like not assault rifle, but it was basically a highly automated, an automatic weapon. A weapon that could put down a crowd if it needed to. And that person was being hung out with by another person, and they were very close to each other. They were never more than one step away from each other. Anytime I saw them anywhere in Switzerland, two of them always in a pair, one of them heavily armed, the other one not brandishing a weapon and more of like the diffuser. And when they were interacting with people, I saw them with some teenagers in a mall. Do you know how quick a fucking teenager pays attention to you when you're holding an automatic weapon? It wasn't an issue. Let's put it this way: the attention span of their teenagers was not an issue when you're bringing automatic weapons to the party. It was like this. It was so cool. Also, everybody felt safe. Dude, there's an armed professional over there who could murder every one of us, and their job is to make sure we're cool while we're hanging out together in this public space. I thought it was awesome. I mean, it was a little spooky, like I'm just not used to seeing weapons like that, brandished in public, but it was cool. The effect on the population was insanely cool. It was very calming. Like if you were going to do something bad in that place, you'd think twice about that because, there's the consequence looking at you right now. It's not an abstraction. It's right there. So anyway, very, very cool stuff. They also had a ton of body armor on, and they looked pretty nimble and spry, and also pretty energetic. Like they could sprint around if they needed to. So, just kind of a sense of civic pride around the production of safety in a public space, which was very, very cool to see. All right, nice one, Sean. That was next level. Here we go, taking the break and then going to the next map. Here it is. Woohoo! Grabbing the heavenly handbrake here. We are jumping in on a strange alien world. Oh, thank God. I thought we were going to get sent to that beach. The beach where we always die. Die the slow death. What's up, Pando? Nice to see your spirit shining through there. Through your rabid raccoon eyes. We only say semi-rabid because if it's semi-rabid, it's legal to have him in the house. If he's actually rabid, it becomes a crime to keep him in the house. Little rabies never hurt anyone. Or that's what I heard. Okay. This one's nice. We like to gank him on the A. No problem doing that usually, because it's a pretty easily defensible little corner of the universe here. We do just have to keep them away as they're coming around that corner. We seem to be pretty good at this. The German that they speak in Switzerland, they speak 4 languages. So it was insanely easy to travel as an English speaker. When I spoke English, people perked up and they wanted to try their English because to them, they learn English in high school, but then they don't use it as much. In the same way we might learn a Spanish in high school and not have a chance to use it, or I learned German and French in high school, and a little Spanish, and I didn't have any I don't really have it's so fantastic when you have an opportunity to use it. However, the German that they speak in Switzerland is not German German. It's this thing called Swiss German, which is like kind of like a folksy German. It kind of breaks some of the rules in the same way that an Australian English or like a New Zealand English sounds quite different because there's a number of different words that or like Afrikaans. When you're hanging out with people from South Africa, they speak Afrikaans usually, which is a form of kind of Dutch in a certain way, but it's its own dialect, and it sounds so cool. But anyway, when those people speak English, they use a lot of Afrikaans words, and so it's almost like they speak a dialect of English. So these humans spoke a dialect of German, and it was but I was surprised at how little help my high school German was. I was on a train, and I was with on their public transportation. They have these little like 4 pods where 4 people sit together. It kind of creates their society creating like a social intention or a social fabric, like an expectation that people would want to hang out with each other in public. It's like, yeah, that's a nice expectation to have, because when you fulfill that expectation, it is it feels good, and it makes your society healthier and your people stronger, and a lot of good stuff like that. But I'm sitting with these 4 people, and one of them speaks more English than the other 3, and she's doing a little translating for me, and they're having a conversation in full German, and I'm catching like, my German's not awesome, but I can catch some, and I can hear pattern in a way that makes sense to me. It's kind of like a slightly subconscious-y kind of thing. My vocab isn't super great, but this German couldn't. It was like, what are you saying? It sounded cool. It sounded like Germanese. It was like I had so many questions, and Google Translate does not have Swiss German, apparently because there's so many of them. There's like bunches and bunches and bunches. So think about that. In Switzerland, when you're hanging out with your group of people, the people who are speaking exactly like you, like very similar to you, they are in your local environment. The internet and mass media doesn't give us that localized language feeling. Like there is it's kind of like it's encrypted. Oh, hey, someone's joining in here. Let me get you here in just a second. Localized encrypted language is a natural part of the human experience. Like when people invade, it's really natural. It used to be really natural that they didn't speak your language, and so it was easy to conspire against them. Hence, it made it hard to invade. Everybody speaking the same language makes it very invadable. Except if you come up with your own little dialect that doesn't mean shit to the people outside of there, then you get it back. And that does seem to be what the Swiss Germans are all about. Let's get this other caller on the line here. Hey, what's shaking, Bacon? How you doing?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on, G-Man? How are you?
Oh, doing okay. How are you guys today? Who's on this call right now?
You know what? It has been a solo flight so far. I've been doing loop-de-loops in my solo plane up here, and it's been fun. Peter is camping, and it looks like we're light on the humans this afternoon. What are you doing, brother?
I just decided I was going to jump out to my car a minute and see what's happening for all the dude core. The
Dude, the Dudiverse, exactly. Well, it's kind of like what's happening with you and me is what's happening in the Dudiverse
right,
in this regard.
Really interesting what you were saying about language. You were just riffing on your own. You were talking to someone?
Yeah, no. I was riffing on my own, and we've got Sean, who's in the UK, who stays up super late and plays with us sometimes. He's playing Darth Vader over here, but he just goes he just rocks it on the chat. So yeah, it's just lightweight. That's just me ranting.
Like, wow, they're having a really intellectual discussion right
Dude, it makes me feel better. There's another human around when I'm talking. It makes me feel less crazy. That's awesome. Just kidding. So, my God, Garrett, that trailer for your documentary looked absolutely amazing. Terrifying Peace. Oh, so first off, just the imagery you were catching and the color you were catching, that was unbelievably clear and beautiful. And not only that, but then what I love to see when I see parts of the world that aren't always the first world necessarily, the life in the people. Everybody is so heart focused, and it seems like there's a greater animation of the spirit in the corpus of the people, in a way.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I'm going to turn you up a little bit here. No, it's great it was cool to see all the dancing and the kids in the natural environment and the song. What was your remind me of your friend's name who wrote that song?
He's Kenny.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, he you turned me on to some of his stuff, and I got him on I think I got him on my Google Music. It might have been my Spotify. Oh, we are almost ready to cap here. But or maybe you sent me a link. I forget how you sent me a link. But such good themes. It reminds me a lot of who's the guy who sings the song? Eddie Vedder. That song Society. You know this one?
I don't know that song.
Oh, it's this great, very, very similar to Kenny's kind of sound, but also very thematically similar in the sense that it's like, society is kind of a crazy place, and there's something else going on, that's greater than society, if you just slow down to listen to it, something like that.
Yeah. My God.
Nice. The dude, so on Tuesday we're gonna have a Switch setup session where we're gonna get those Korgs working. If you want, we're gonna see how many of those we can get, like talking and playing music at the same time, and thus begins the distributed sound studio.
Yeah, unfortunately I can't join Tuesday.
That's all right. That's okay.
Oh, there goes Yoda.
There goes Yoda. Oh man, you can see that. That's crazy. Yeah, totally. The I guess you can on the app on the that's wild. That's so wild. Yeah. The oh man, what were we just talking about?
Can't make anything Tuesday.
Oh yeah, that's right. No big deal. There are bugs to work out in the system, and we are gonna work some of these bugs out and just move the whole envelope forward, so to speak. So we will catch you up.
Sweet. Oh, and not a big deal, but I set up an account, but it looks like the email is connected to one with a P. I'm guessing it's your. Well.
Yes, like play. I can forward that to you to any email address you want, so that you can get those emails if that's helpful.
Yeah, connected to my PayPal, and then I realized, oh no, I'm trying to connect it to Paul's PayPal, probably.
Oh yeah. No big deal. You can you can purchase whatever you want there. No biggie. But probably I have to sign into something. There's a limitation. Yeah, go ahead.
Generous. You've already been so generous, man. I don't want to buy games.
No. Well, you got it, brother. There's and what's really cool on both of those systems is that you can sign in as a second user. So if you make a second Nintendo user on the Switch, you get access to all the games that are locally stored on the Switch on any account. So you don't lose any games by doing a second account, and you can also add your own payment method to that, and then do whatever you want. On that Player 5. I think it was Player 5 I sent you, Player 4, I can't remember. I got you hooked up with the Titanfall on there. So that is going to be a stretch goal, is to get back into Titanfall, too, for me. Still there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm watching Luke destroy you.
Oh God, no kidding. My attention is split. It's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna hang out with Sean here at Rocket. Okay, so anyway, you can do the same thing on the PlayStation 4. All you do is you just add another user to the console. Then PlayStation does the licensing a little different, and so you only have access to the content that you have purchased on that second account. So if you want to add something or whatever, you can totally do it, and you can set up another gamer tag on another user, and you get like 90% of the benefits. And that PlayStation user, Player 4 there, it has a PlayStation Plus, like there's hundreds and hundreds of games that it has like built into it that all you have to do is click one button and it'll like download them and start playing them for you. And In any event, there's quite a library on both of them. Not that you've got time to do any of that. You're doing all kinds of you're doing a bunch of. You've got so many creative projects going on right now.
Going up to work on a project this weekend in New England. Nice to take the Switch because I'm going to have some time to just chill out, but it might also just be nice and quiet too. So,
Oh yeah.
or to bring it or not.
Oh yeah. Well, it's nice to have the option when you travel. I was just out of town last week, and it's crazy because I brought a bunch of movies with me on my phone from my home network, and the movies I wanted to see when I was traveling versus the movies I thought I'd want to see when I was putting them on there was so radically different. I was like, you get in a new headspace when you're in a new place. Anyway, it's nice to have options. Plus, that Switch is excellent. That Switch is really excellent at mobile gaming. That's its entire thing, is like doing what it does anywhere.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, check out that core game on there when you get a moment. You're gonna love that thing.
Yeah. Look at that shot. Yeah, I was gonna check out that game Dead Cell one. It's like a Castlevania type game.
Okay. Dead Cell. Okay, fantastic.
Yeah.
There was one called Gravity Zero. Okay, I gotta. It was There was. I will. That's fun. That's super fun.
Zero.
You might be able to. You might just check to see if any game you want comes with that PlayStation Plus subscription first. You also might get a discount on it there as well. But anyway, just yeah, I will forward the player email onto you, and then you can manage the user there a lot more easily.
Yeah, or if it's easier for me to just make a different account for the Switch, that's not a big deal either. I don't make it hassle for you.
No. I think you've got the best of both worlds, because you can goof around with the library already on there, and then if you want to enhance the library, there's an easy way to do so. So I think it's just win-win all around, man.
All right.
I don't think there's a wrong way to do it. So when was the last time you did play some games? It was a while ago for you, right? It was.
Yeah, it's been so busy. I've been like working on the weekends.
Yeah.
And stuff too.
Yeah.
So usually by the time the kids are in bed, they're around 8 or so. So
Yep.
More now.
No, it's a thing. I made a very I wasn't playing. I made a very conscious decision to switch back on the gaming Switch when I did. And I was like, but it's a thing. It's a total thing. But you can just do it now and then. Just like a nice glass of something after dinner. It doesn't have to be all the time, kind of thing.
Are you playing this on the PC or PlayStation 4?
Let me explain the situation. I'd love to walk you through it. So what I have in front of me is I've got a TV, which is just an inexpensive large monitor, and into that TV I have the PlayStation 4 hooked into. I've got my control in front of me, so it's pretty. That's pretty nice, very nimble that way. And then in front of that, between the TV and me, I have a little stand, and I have a Logitech camera. The Logitech camera goes into the capture card, and then the capture card goes into my computer. In the computer, we use another piece of software called OBS, which is a broadcast software, and that combines the images. It takes the raw sound and video feed from the game, and it combines it with the green screened. I'm sitting in front of a green screen. It combines it with the green screen image of the camera that I'm looking into. So it creates a composite image. Then that is shared out to the app that we use to stream. So it's got stages to it, and you can't do it wrong. And it's super fun. And I was not expecting that you would go full broadcast ready like immediately, but I think you've got about 90% of the gear to do it. And hey, did you pull the trigger on that PC that you were looking at?
No, you mean because I was going to upgrade the what was it, the RAM?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have not done that yet. I have it in my shopping cart. I was actually looking at this. I was afraid to do anything to my computer before I went to lab house, and then I was gonna
No, that makes total sense.
for
If you,
that.
if you want to
Kinda
if you
put
want to
on the
do a
back.
consult, if you want if you want to talk about it, if you want some suggestions or anything, brother, you just let me know. Because that's so great. I'm so glad you didn't pull the trigger just yet, because we can get you I think we can get you some deals, figure some shit out. You're mostly a Mac person. Do you rock on the PC often?
I see for computers, and then just an iPhone dude for phones.
Oh, nice. That makes a lot of sense with the sound software too, and the video editing stuff. You don't have that many choices on a Macintosh. On a PC, there's so many choices for really good editing suites and good sound editing software. Yeah, there's a couple of really good ones on the Mac, but everything costs on a Mac.
I use Reaper, which is like $50 for a DW. It's like awesome.
That is so good. We were talking the other night about cool stuff to get done. I've been making incremental improvements to my studio, my music studio. But dude, what I need to do is I need to sit down and do like a 10-hour push. Just push to finish a couple of things and like get like some it's like having a house that's almost ready to be moved into. I just need to put up the doors, so to speak.
Yeah, well, there's all these like creative blocks. Like if I will, then I'll be able to make music, or if I reconfigure it, and then it's so much.
Yeah,
it is so much. But yeah, it's just always something else.
I hear you. I totally hear you. Let me see here. Okay, what you might do if you can is there's 3 dots next to your name inside the restream, and then there's audio settings. You might turn off the noise suppression and the echo cancellation, because I think the software is kind of clip. Yeah, it's like clipping off what you say sometimes, and I think it's just because the volume is very uniform and it can't tell the difference between talking and not. But the probably not not that best software for that anyway. But
see the 3 dots.
yeah, there's like 3 dots, and then there's video settings. Audio settings is the one you want, and then there's advanced, and then there's like 4 little switches, and there's I usually turn on the stereo sound and high quality audio. Those just make it sound good, but you get whatever you want. Just if you turn off those noise suppression one. Yeah.
I don't see any audio settings.
Huh. Okay.
Video.
It might be different.
Yeah.
Are you just you're probably just in a browser? It might be. Okay, the way I see it is off to the left.
Oh wait.
Oh, but you know what? My view is different.
Oh! I found them.
There you go.
Is that better?
Let's talk. You sounded smoother in that sentence.
How do I sound now?
That sounds a little smoother. It was grabbing a hold of the edges of what you were saying a little bit,
Yeah.
and it's not doing that now. So that's a nicer move. Dude, yeah, creative blocks and then having the ability to do it. I hear what you're saying. No, it's I feel like I'm at a precipice, creatively speaking, because I have spent so much time improving my kit and improving the lab, and now it's just time to put it all to use.
Yeah. I got too many stuff, and then you have to connect them all via MIDI, and then you can also have them connect over MIDI to the computer, and write parts and have it play over. Too much.
I know. It's a complexity issue, right? At some point, you just have to impose some limits. Like, that's going to be my limit. It'll be like, okay, Paul, you've got all your gear hooked up. That's everything you wanted to hook up. Now, use it. And 20 seconds later, I'll be like, hey, what if I... And I go, no, you've done it. That part's already done. Write it down. It's on the next version. But we've had some major scope creep on this lab upgrade hiatus I've been taking to do this thing. And it's niche they're good, man, as they would say in Switzerland. Garrett, how many languages do you speak?
One.
Oh, really? Okay, very fantastic. That's awesome. Do you speak a little bit of another language?
I can sort of understand Spanish,
Nice. That's a good
and
one. That's a great one.
I kind of tell when people are. Well, I know when people are speaking Chinese. They
Really? Like you can discern information from that.
No, I can't. But
Okay.
people like you go into any Japanese restaurant, everyone's Chinese. People like
Oh,
speak
interesting.
Chinese.
Oh, that's funny. That's super funny.
Yeah.
Like
Chinese people running. Yeah.
you are breaking up a bit there, sir.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, you sound pretty good. You sound pretty good.
Okay.
Yep. That's so funny because someone who was Chinese or Japanese would know the difference between the Chinese on the wall and the Japanese on the wall and the Chinese coming out of people's faces. That would be, it's just like people. That's funny. That's super funny. There was a YouTube channel that I ran into, and it was a guy who spoke like fluent Chinese, and he would go into a Chinese restaurant and he would order in Chinese. And what was so amazing about it was the transformation of the staff. So, it would start off and there would be kind of these surly Chinese women there who were, serving the noodles or doing whatever, and it wasn't super happy. It was like, yeah. And anyway, then he'd start speaking Chinese to them, and you just watch their faces become animated. It was like the language engaged them, and they felt like they were like at work or something, and like present. And anyway, it's just remarkable because it's every single video is just one person after another getting happy that someone bothered to take the time to learn a little bit about their culture and can speak it and didn't grow up in it. Oh man, I might have lost you there a little probably.
I'm here.
Okay, cool. No, you can just chill. It's hard to the audio. I want to get you on a good mic, but it's all good.
Yeah. Walked out to my car for a minute to say back inside.
Dude, it is so nice to hear you and hang out.
Yeah. So we'll to be continued, man.
To be continued. You have a fantastic time, and blessings on all the projects and all the cool stuff that's going on.
Yeah, thank you. All right.
You betcha, man.
Great talk. Yeah.
Have a good one.
Oh, hey, the other night was awesome too, by the way.
Oh God, wasn't that great?
It was awesome.
It was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. It was so much fun, and it was so great to see everybody. And man, it was the Dude Corps made travel so interesting because I was just seeing everything through extra lenses. Like, what would I share with the dudes? How does this influence the projects I'm doing with the dudes? It was like it was fun. It was super fun. It was it is cool to hang out and do stuff, but I am continuously impressed at the amount of value I'm getting out of it. More or less.
Oh,
nice.
Glad to hear that.
Well, totally, man. Well, take it easy. Have a great afternoon, man.
Catch you later.
See you later. All right. Nice to hear from you, Garrett. That was awesome. Sean, I'm right here with you. Looks like you got this one tied down. I'm going to go get the other one over here on B. This is fun. Super fun. Any other dudes out there, the link is in the signal. You can jump right in. Say hello. Thank you for saying hello. This is awesome. All right, Sean's showing him what for over here on A. You're gonna go get. I'll back you up here a little bit, Sean. Nice. Nice. Should probably let my hero go first because they're more of a tank. I can back them up. Nah, we both got nuked in there, didn't we? Yes, we will have to figure out a higher quality mic situation for the G-Man there. And it would be so nice to have a smooth conversation. Because, yeah, Garrett's working on some cool stuff. He's got a really neat documentary about unexploded ordnance and its effects on humanity. kind of like the side effects of war. That like war, when you're dropping bombs or putting exploding things into the environment, they don't always go off all when you want them to. And so he has a company that travels and identifies the very dangerous parts of the world that have these left over in the ground, and then they set off controlled explosions so that the more dangerous bomb can be eliminated. And the people that have to live in these previous war zones, it is just remarkable how affected the injuries that they sustain, and the just the psychological effect of like being at home, but don't climb that tree because that tree might have unexploded ordnance in it. It's like, wait, what? Like that's just crazy, and it's crazy because it's so expensive sometimes to remove it that it can't. It's just sometimes they just leave it. Like it's just easier to leave it be and just tell everybody, yeah, don't go over there. And then sometimes somebody accidentally goes over there, and it's a real problem, and it causes a lot of human tragedy. Now, I mean, it's just an extension of war's tragedy that it would affect children and affect non-combatants. And quite frankly, there's a huge thing in the Geneva Convention about not bombing non-combatants, but like leaving bombs or mines in an area, that's exactly that. That is exactly what that is. It is an irresponsible use of equipment. If there was even some useful purpose with a war, which, hard to find one of those these days, useful one. If there was some kind of purpose for it, it's just part of the bill should be to pick that stuff up. And that should be enforced. I don't know how you do it. That's the weird thing about watching all the Ukraine war and all this other stuff. It's just, at one level, our society is just violence against other people. And just, there's no talking, there's no discussing, there's no strategy, there's no, diplomacy. It's just like, shooting. It's like the most and worst form of human communication, to just enact violence against other people. I wonder if you could pass laws to interdict how the military works. Like, would that even be a good idea? To like tell the military, hey, you're welcome to shoot people after you've talked to them a bunch, and shoot them all day. If they're like legit, then go for it. Or, I don't know. I don't even know how that works. Soldiers have rules of engagement, and they have all kinds of, there's military justice, and there's all kinds of stuff, that ethics that they have to maintain and hold. But I wonder if there's bad incentives in the system. Meaning, sometimes you're in a system and you have to do bad things because everybody's doing bad things. It's like got bad incentives. So it's like if you even want to participate in the system, you have to do bad shit. And war seems like that would be a ripe location for that to happen. Like, you're already killing each other, so what? I'm supposed to follow some rules while you kill me? Get bent. Like, it seems like that would break down the most, the absolute most in a war situation. Dear God, this is crazy. They're on A. Okay, I guess the thing here, we're not going to rush in. We're just going to work the edges. Work the edges. All right, nice, Sean. What are you rocking there? Okay, nice. Donut syrup. Donut syrup's rocking the thing here. Maybe it says cough syrup. That's a different kind of syrup for shizzle and for certains. I had a friend who showed me a gangster Ipsum Laurel Ipsum generator. Laurel Ipsum is the text that you put on a website, or when you're doing something, you put some Laurel Ipsum. It's just like some kind of bastardized Latin. I think Laurel Ipsum is really it. It's not usually, it's nonsense words, and it's just text when you don't have any text. You drop the Laurel Ipsum in there when you're designing. Anyway, he had a gangster Laurel Ipsum generator, which is like for shizzle my nizzle, the sizzle the vizzle. It was hilarious. Hilarious. The next time I make something, I might drop some gangster Laurel Ipsum on the fire. Next time I stand up a website. Look at this. We're getting no challenges. They're going to come in a giant wave all at once. All right. Thin them out. Their heroes die when they don't have support troops. Don't know who I'm talking to. Sean's on it like vomit down in front there. Sean, I find that if I fall back and get on top of this rock, it's kind of nice, but really just, I guess, there's any way you want to do it. There's space over here. if you want to do that, or just keep doing what you're doing, which is good. We're winning. Yeah, there's a nice natural place to stand when you reincarnate. You're just right off to my right. You can kind of go back and forth, work the rock here. And it's nice because you're up in the air a little, which exposes you, but it also gives you a nice angle on pretty much everybody. And they're shooting low anyway. It takes a while to figure out you're shooting high. Nice. 2 minutes of this we can do. I'm going for the blue cooldown, which is just more bullets faster. I just think shooting a lot is very important here, but you could go for the super shot with a little couple extra seconds on the cooldown. That might be useful with so much. But then you got the superpower, and the superpower is just shoot all day. Shoot all day, shoot all day. Ben Carver, son of Carver. That is a Hebrew Ben Joseph, son of Joseph. It's very cool. Very cool with the keeping the last name as the lineage kind of thing. Very very tribal people there. That would be, you'd be keeping track of who was belonging to who and making sure everybody knew what was going on. Yeah, so that was another thing about Switzerland. It felt like being in a smaller group of people. It kind of gave me pause about the 330 million people that were America and the 230 cultures that we have in America. We're such a melting pot. Our identity is so diffuse in so many different ways that I think that's what people are craving. Like the big difference between right and left, maybe blue and red, is some people are craving kind of small group identity, and some people are craving because they're not getting it in their media, and other people get it in their media and are kind of, you know, part of that cult group in a certain way, and therefore they don't mind living in a place where there's literally thousands and thousands of people that think just like them. And it's like, this is kind of one of the big oh, nice on the crowd control there, Sean. That was an excellent move. Boy, that pissed them off. Here comes Luke getting shot a lot. Okay, gonna try to close out the Luke situation here.
With our reinforcements soon arriving, the rebels will be forced to retreat. Don't let them.
God, he's healing. How does he healing? Oh, it's probably somebody's superpower to heal him in the environment. Oh my God, how's that Luke still around? That's insane. Okay, here comes a grenade, you fuck. There. Ah, dang. Alright, 0. I bet that's a victory. Ah, super nice. Super nice. Nice job, Sean. That was excellent. Here we go. Let's take a break. We'll make it a shorty. Sean. That sounds awesome. 2 more and switching games. That sounds good. What other games are you digging playing these days? When you get a chance. The 2 more sounds just about right to me. That sounds good too. Normally we've it's kind of getting to be springtime. People are outside doing cool stuff. I got snow on the ground. I live at 8,300 feet. It is not warm where I live. But what is magical is that when the spring comes, oh, does the birds and the flowers and the squirrels and the bunnies, it is a magical time to feel the life force coming back into the land and through all the living things. Anyway, I'm looking forward to spring. Here we go. Oh, nice, Sean. Sean's gonna play some Fortnite. That is awesome. I think I got my Fortnite up to speed. Many times I would probably play a little Fortnite, but honestly, we'll see. I've got the I think we're friended up in there too. Could play some doubles or fill some squad. Oh my goodness gracious. Alright, I'm with you in 5, Sean. Here we go!
This is quite surprising, considering Joe has no Riz.
I've been laying back on the okay, we're capturing B. So we're just gonna take B. Okay. Man, we got a big old chunk of C. My rhythm is off. We usually hold C a lot better. There's a lot of people over here who just want to hang out and get shot. You guys hanging out and getting shot? Is that what you're out? Is that what you're all about? Hanging out and getting shot? That was a whole squad that went down there. Take that, you nerd. It'll take 3 days for that mail to arrive. Alright, new attack points have been marked. Let's secure them. I like A. Nice, Sean. Knocking them down. Frurar. That sounds like a Wookiee name. That sounds like someone who likes being a Wookiee. Frurar. It's just like missing some consonants, I think, in that word. That word could use a few more consonants. What were we talking about? We were talking about something that was fun. Well, in any event, with springtime comes festivals and outdoor parties in the Denver area, which are unbelievably cool. There's so many creative people in the Denver area, and they do so much cool stuff, and it all kicks in the springtime. It works incredibly well. Okay. This is awesome. Yeah, and with the springtime comes the mud season up in the mountains. I should be back. I should be capping. Always be capping. Nice, John. Capping. That means that basically you can go up into the mountains and you can like mountain bike, or you can go hiking on what were ski slopes when there was snow. Now that there's no snow, you can. There's just all kinds of cool mud season stuff you can do up in the mountains, and it's so beautiful up there. And yeah, by the heart of summer, it gets pretty warm at the higher climbs. It's kind of cool. I'm not capping. Nice job, Sean. Capping like a champ over here. Gotta pay attention to where I'm walking, wandering. Yeah. I am making a commitment to be outside as much as possible this spring. It has been such a long winter. It's been so cold that outdoors tout le temps, all the time. And then I'm just going to try to stuff sunshine into my soul, so that when the winter comes again, which I'm not even going to think about when it's nice and sunny outside, I will be prepared, and I will have my batteries stored. That's a good summer. A good summer is you've got enough sunlight, enough sunshine, you kind of filled up on the good stuff, and you're ready to hunker down, get some creative projects done, do some awesome work for many months inside, be that creative or spiritual or intellectual or whatnot, but you do it all. It's a cycle. It's a creative cycle. I like having seasons. It is I guess it's those hormones and it's all those cycles, those circadian rhythms. When I lived in California, it was magical. It being like sunny and warm like that all the time. But it also, I could tell the psychological effect it had on the inhabitants was, it was, it's nice to have a little eustress, a little healthy stress. Eustress is stress that's like good for the organism. It's a stress that it's the stress in the sense that when you're a kid, you get like a couple flus, you get some colds, you fight it off, and then this helps build your immune system repertoire. It's kind of like eustress is kind of like that. It's like a stress that you're in charge of in a certain way because you're kind of voluntarily entering into it, I suppose. But also just a healthy amount of stress. Like exercise. Like regular exercise would be considered kind of a stress on the body that produces a response of building of strength and a building of endurance and a building of cardiology, etc. Anyway, what was I talking about eustress in relation to? For God's sakes, I am lost on this map. Where are we headed, kids? Is it over here? Is this where we're headed? Okay. Dude, I thought I knew my way around this map better. Here we go. Oh yeah, the last one. We like this one. This is a fun one. By we, I mean the usual crew. I think we've got a lot of experience on this one. Capping this one to success. All right. Also, the hang back and shoot from a distance really applies on this level. There's plenty of places to hide just around the corner. Guns work great at a distance, especially when you got Yoda coming up on you like this. I decided to die and just keep shooting Yoda. I could have taken my eye off the ball, but I didn't do it. I'm with you in 5, Sean. Here we go. Here we go. Boom. Let's go. Nice job. Everything's just an improvement upon Pong. Pong, the first little video game where it's just you bopping a ball, this is like Pong's 10,000th generation of iteration. 10 kabillionth. This is just like Pong everywhere. Just infinite Pong of just like the realism, the interaction, the distance that video games have come. My God. My God. And yet, yeah, just think about the amount of the brain that this engages, where Pong, engaged probably part of your mortal, what do you call it? Motor cortex. You have to coordinate the what's going on the screen, your visual sense with what your fingers are doing, hand-eye coordination. It's one of the things that video games get a lot of credit for, is that they improve hand-eye coordination. My wife notices it all the time. I'll be hanging out with her and I'll put a pin or something on the edge of a couch or a edge of a cabinet and it'll roll and my hand will go whoop, and I'll grab it just like wham, like super fast, and she's like, Jesus, like that's insane. Like she's like, did you know you were doing that? I was like, I knew I was doing that after I did that. And I think it has a lot to do with the enhanced hand-eye coordination, that I'm used to making the connection between my hands and my eyes a lot. And so in a subconscious moment like that, part of my brain can just take over and just use the neuro skill set that my conscious mind developed. So this would be like a harmony and ebony and ivory harmony situation in terms of my conscious and unconscious mind. My conscious mind's out here playing video games in these streets, getting better with the fingers. My unconscious mind is catching pencils when they fall. What could be better? Everyone, we shall break and return after the break. One more, Sean, if I heard you properly. One more, and let's put it down, and then we'll call it a night. Here we go. Sean, that sounds fantastic. Have a great night.
Stand your ground and defend the objective.
Sean, you go get some sleep. Take care of yourself. It was awesome to see you. Have a fantastic weekend. It is always awesome to hang out, and thanks for being such an awesome player. So crazy how good we're doing. All right, but take it easy. Okay, pulling the handbrake on the hyperspace drive here. Drifting into another situation. Never really established a strategy for this first round. It's so easy to lose it. I feel like you'd have to play it 100,000 times to get your 10,000 hours because they just roll you so damn fast. And there doesn't seem to be rhyme or reason to the map. It's like 3 places you can't see from I don't know. Seems like in some of these maps you can cover 2 for 1. Like that last Hoth map. You can be in one place and kind of see a little bit into the other place, so it kind of works. I think this is more Vietnam in the sense that you're just right down in the middle of things. All right, Fett Solo, what you got going on here? Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, so I've been getting better at the Twitch controls. And some of the mod views in the Twitch, and dude, we have like 10 people, 12 people in there right now, like just chilling out watching on Twitch. Hello everybody who's hanging out on the Twitch skis. It's nice to have you here. I get it, most people just want to hang out and listen. That's awesome. If you want to talk about anything, type it in the chat. Invitation open. If you got any questions or have a subject matter change or anything like that, I'm open to the suggestiones. Yeah, so anyway, just welcome. Hope you're having an awesome Friday, wherever you are. I wonder if you were up so early in the morning it would be Saturday already. It's probably Saturday in a lot of places already. It's Friday afternoon here in the Mountain Standard Time in the Midwest Rocky Mountain region of the United States. We are Midwestern, but we are also elevated in more than a few ways. 8,300 feet is where my personal abode resides, and it was wild going down to I was in Chicago for a bit, and it was wild being at sea level. Man, you can breathe for days at sea level. Like what? Like training at altitude? Ah, they got B. I guess we'll stop this deal. You guys try to keep the Ewoks out of the situation here. Aelin, we play with Aelin quite a bit. Seen that person's name before. But anyway, yeah, we're in the Midwest, and it's the best because it's like super hip Midwest. Denver's amazing. Denver is just a cool town with a lot going on. There's a lot of art. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot to do in Denver. If I was planning a trip for someone to Denver, I would say you've got to take at least half a day, and you've got to go to the oh my god, I'm totally blanking on the name. The Meow Wolf exhibit, which is the it's basically an art gallery that is a theme park, more or less. And the art is like the trippiest, craziest, psychedelic-y kind of art, just hundreds of pieces of very, very, very creative stuff that is fun to experience. And if you were an enterprising traveler and wanted to visit Denver properly, you could go to a legal cannabis shop and you could get yourself some edibles, and you'd want to do a very light dose for your first time, like not medical advice, but do like 5 milligrams or less, or like 10 milligrams or less. A nice edible trip of 10 milligrams at Meow Wolf would change your life, because edibles are psychedelic. They are a psychedelic, and it's kind of cool because as a society, Colorado now, but Denver and specific, we've been integrating this psychedelic in cannabis for 10 years. 10 years starting in next January. And so it's cool. It is very cool to see the positive effects on my brother and sister Coloradoans, where people seem to be, I think they're getting a lot of benefit from this arrangement. I don't think it's something that anyone or any other state should fear, because it's basically it's a super net positive, societally kind of speaking, in my view, in my estimation. What's really nice about it is that cannabis elevates awareness and elevates focus, where alcohol will kind of dim that. So if you've got a society where you're already rocking the alcohol, the fruit of the vine, so to speak, cannabis is nothing. Side effects of cannabis, negligible. Not a big deal. You're going to have people getting a little more sleep in your society, being a little less cranky, being a little less hungover. It's a good thing. And yeah, it does make a good alcohol replacement, I would say. I would say that it's very non-addictive. Like traveling and taking a couple days off and stuff like that. It's no big deal. Cannabis is like, for most people, it's no big deal. And they say that the percentage of people that get kind of addicted to cannabis is the same percentage of people that get addicted to like cheeseburgers and scratch tickets. It's kind of just like part of, just some people are going to get addicted to stuff, and if they settled on the cannabis, okay. But even then, the side effects of long-term use are also very minor in most cases. Anyway, I don't know any of the bad side effects, or the this is all one-sided data. Nobody listen to what I'm saying. Make your own choices. Of course, stay legal. Stay free out there, kids. War on drugs is a real thing. It's a real cash cow for a lot of, as wars kind of peter out, though, it's war on drugs. Nixon did the war on drugs because he couldn't win the war in Vietnam because it was a dumb war. Unwinnable dumb war. Alright, I'm going to try to make a run for it. Not even sure if that's a good idea. Pardon me. I'm going to strafe. Gonna run side to side so they can't shoot me exactly in the back if they're trying to do that, cowards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. It's gonna be close. Woo! That's right. Alright. Now we're gonna shoot them at as far a distance as they'll let us shoot, which is pretty much the entire map. Okay, cool. Someone took a speeder in here. How cool are you, man? Look at all these people wanting to die. Come on, let's go. God, I almost got my gun out. Almost got my gun out and shot Luke Skywalker in the face. Oh, dude. Luke Skywalker looks pissed. That's not a happy Luke Skywalker. It's like Luke Skywalker was fighting for the light. When you fight for the light and truth and goodness, you become healthy, vibrant. I guess maybe you have a bad day. Maybe that's like Luke's. But still, there should be some massive residual awesome effects from spending so much of your life concerned about the truth and goodness and beauty. And yeah, that's going to result in some bright eyes and some bushy tails, so to speak. That Luke Skywalker looked tragically on meth or something crazy. That's a very unhealthy Luke Skywalker. Terrible example for the kids. What are we teaching these kids? Alright, there's people down there. They're contesting. Well, Luke Skywalker, you're just basically all... You're very soft when you're concussed. Alright, I'm gonna go down. Oh, he was back fast. Now he's directly under the whole pylon. Alright. Well, this is gonna be a real... Oh, there we go. This is off to the side. Look at this. These guys know what they're doing. You guys done this before? This is awesome. Alright, thin them out. Thin them the fuck out. So many of them. Well, anyway, dear listeners, it's very kind of you to be spending time with me. Very nice to have you here. Yeah. Everybody think good thoughts and stay safe and do creative shit that makes you happy, at least in your downtime, even if it's something very minor. You know, one really easy creative thing you can do is curate a playlist of stuff you want to learn. Like, pick any topic, come up with 5 YouTube videos and put it on a playlist, and then the next time you have a free moment, crank it on the playlist and just like learn some shit. And this is a next level way to it's a creative thing, but you're like kind of creatively becoming your own DJ for your knowledge. Some teacher, little self-taught situation. Just having good playlists. I wonder if you could literally do education through good playlists. Just like next level good playlists, and a kid that had a lot of time to watch a lot of cool stuff. And yeah, education through playlists. That would be sort of an absorptive piece. You'd have to, I guess, my God, yeah. And then you just have to have application, so that you get both sides of the mastery. Huh. That's a fascinating idea. I think I'm going to speak with my sister about this. She has some youngins, and she's thinking about different homeschooling optiones, and I think there could be something really amazing done in that regard. What's going on down here? Maintain the area. God, these guys have really spent a lot of time camping. Nerd buckets. You guys are easy to shoot at when you're Okay, we're just gonna keep going here. You guys are gonna run down the clock, then we're gonna have to clean you out one good time. We got 4 minutes, so long as you're not actually capping, I guess it doesn't matter if we kind of cohabitate on the point here. Oh, dude, it's fucking Luke somewhere. I think he just force pushed me. He just forcibly pushed me. Oh man, they were kicking us off the top here. What is going on? What's up, you nerds? They almost cleared us off, guys. That's not good. Not that anyone can hear me scream in space. There we go. Luke Skywalker, you nerd bucket. Force push. You know what? Let's go. My pleasure to punch you in the face. That would be an adrenaline spike. Kill adrenaline spike. Oh my god. Whole thinking changes. Fight or flight kicks in. Yeah, fuck him up. I got 6,000 points for that. I was alive for like 2 seconds. Shoot those nerds. I am right there with you. Let's shoot nerds. That's it. Back on station. Back on station. Holy smokes, they got it. All right, they're on top. We're going low. Let's go low. Here we go. They go high. We go low. Oh, man, they got both. This is where no one can hear you scream in space. Like, okay, so I'm out here trying to interpret what my fellow humans are intending by all of this. I can't talk to them, not directly. This is where it's nice to have the bros all on the same page. But you know what? This is working out. Will they stop the steal? Okay, there is still contesting going on. You know what? Now we're gonna kind of fall out to the side here and do a little side hustle. Seem to have the rest of it somewhat under control. Nice. I'm gonna go over to the other side. Looks like some of these bots have the same idea. Here's a red target. Something red on my HUD. Heads up display for those at home. Okay. Got Ewoks up here in the rafters. Just Ewok village up here in this Star Destroyer or whatever we're fighting in. This bunker. This bunker on the moon. Alright, you guys. They are capping, so we must close the gap. And they have captured a lot of this. Alright, you guys, what are we doing? We can't. Someone's got to stay on station. Well, I guess I'm staying on station. Let's run the clock down. They'll have to do it in OT. That'll be bad for them. Let's run the clock down.
Fuck yeah!
Fuck yeah.
Those are two different, distinct fuck yes.
The E8 diagram should be the Tits Freudenthal magic square.
Tits Freudenthal magic squares is what I'm all about. Tits Freudenthal magic squares. This is an important aspect of UFO physics. Tits Freudenhider magic squares, dude. That's how those UFOs are flying. That's how they're bending space-time and then making a little dippy well. Oh no. They're going to get it. They're going to get it. Oh no. This is ugly. This is ugly. Well, there it is. Final game, ending with an L, but thank you everybody for tuning in. It's very nice to see everybody. Have a fantastic week. We will be back on Friday, at least next Friday we'll have another bowling league, and we might have a broadcast Tuesday night if we can get all the humans on the same page. We're going to do some setups on the distributed arcade that is the bowling league. And then we might have a little Diablo streaming or something along those lines. Also, a little magical music kind of coming up. But in any event, everybody have a fantastic evening. And, you know, quite frankly, because it's just me, you, and the tree here, let's end with a prayer. Mother, Father, God, may your spirit and your light descend upon everyone in this world. Be with us. Open our hearts and open our minds to you, that we would understand your true nature and experience it for ourselves. That your love and your peace would permeate our entire being, that you would show us the way to live a greater and deeper truth, a more creative and alive and engaged life. May your spirit and your love be with us and go with us now through the rest of our day and through our weekend. Inspire us and fill us with everything that we need to be successful. Help us to achieve our dreams and all of our creative projects, and be with our families. Bless everyone who's traveling, everyone who's spending time away from home. Be with all the pilgrims, be with all the travelers. In your name this is done. In the name of the Creator, the Mediators, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Have a fantastic time. We're going to take it out on a little music.